And here we have the extension QPSK, but right now we have a pi over 4 QPSK. And pi over 4 QPSK actually contain, let me have this first. We contain all possible states. Why? Because we have a pi over 4 shift. But how to have the corresponding phase? Actually, we have the way to have the operation. All right, so actually we can have iterate. Actually, it should be the recursive formula. Original phase, the current phase, so we have a k, and the previous one, k minus 1. And also, this is a phase. So you see where this is a phase. All right. And actually, we can have the corresponding one. So we have 1. If we have a string, so we have 1, 0, 1, 1. So how about the current phase? The current phase says, oh, finally we have something like that. So it says, okay, so the initial one, for example, right now, we assume, okay, for some reason, this is a given one. For example, this is a given one. And maybe you can have some specification to have the result. Right now, I assume this is a given one. If you have the given one, this is a pi over 4, right? And the second one, oh, okay, 0, assume 0 means the positive one, so we have a pi over 4. Right, 0. And the 1 maybe minus 1, so minus 1. And initially maybe 0, so 0 minus 1. So if we have this, then you will know, okay, we have 1 and 0 to have a positive or negative pi. And we have the relationship, the previous one. So example, initially it's 0, 0, and this one minus 1, so minus pi over 4. So 0 minus pi over 4, so it's this value. And once we have the results here, so this one. And right now 0 is positive 1. So you can continue, and so that we can have the way to have the carrier, the first off for the carrier. So that is pi over 4 QPSK, and it provides all possible states. And right now we have the new one, QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation, QAM. And QAM actually we want that it have QAM later, but we have all of these. And how to have these this way. And actually, how many? Right now, it seems to be 8. But here we have 4. So we have this one. And this is a constellation for 16 QAM. And 16 QAM, how to have the way to show the result. As for how to have the coding, it doesn't matter. But we have the consideration of gray coding. At this, we have 16, but we have a gray coding. How to have a gray coding? At least 1 bit difference. Right? 1 bit difference. Can you see it? So we have a grading coding, but if you don't like this one, it doesn't matter. It won't be necessary to include gray coding, and this is a possible cancellation to have 16 points to show the signal cancellation. And it's possible to have this as well. So that says other cancellation of 16 QAM. All right. Okay, that's all. So almost done, but look at this. I think you have the slides, so you can look at this. Allow you to have 2 minutes to review the modulation here. To have, we have we start from FSK, PSK, and so that we have QPSK later. And later we have pi over 4 QPSK. And finally, we have the corresponding cancellations. All right, check them first, and later we will have the next activities. So if everything's okay, let me move on to these. Just refresh your memory. This is the content we discussed. And first of all, we talk about multiple divisions, and then we talk about modulations. So that's all. And you can take a look at these. And so that just a memory refresh for you. All right, so check this, but before you check it, let me make sure. Can you see this, Jay? Yes, right? Okay, good. Use this one. And later we can see it directly. Let it have 1 minute. Just mention the term you think you are familiar with these or understood well. So most of you think the code should be CDMA. That's fine, because we talk about spread spectrum first. And later we have modulation. So you mentioned something about modulation. That's correct. And modulation, then we will have frequency keying. And FM, we talk about Carson's rule. So some of you mentioned Carson's rule. So you have a PSK, FSK, and off the end, that's correct. All right, that's all. So these are the content we've gone through, and actually you can refresh. And of course, if you want to have the actual material, if you don't have the testable, oh, okay, currently maybe you can rely on possible AI tool, for example, ChatGPT or Gemini. But you just do your best. All right, so let me move on to the next chapter.